You know how to build a hand. You know how to track an opponent through what they take and throw. You know when to finish and when to wait. Rummy 500 takes what you learned in Gin Rummy and opens it up. More players, more decisions, and a discard pile that becomes the most contested resource at the table. Rummy 500 keeps the Gin Rummy structure. Same meld types, same draw and discard rhythm. But now the game plays 2 to 8 players, the score runs to 500, and the discard pile becomes a layered, public resource everyone can see, read, and fight over. 7 cards are dealt to each player. The rest form the draw pile. The top card is turned face up to start the discard pile. Your goal is still to arrange cards into melds. A set is 3 or 4 cards of the same rank. A run is 3 or more consecutive cards in the same suit. The scoring changes. In Gin Rummy, your hand stayed hidden, and the score came from the difference in deadwood at the end. In Rummy 500, you score for every card you lay down as a meld. Aces are worth 15, face cards are worth 10, and all others are face value. Cards left in your hand when the round ends count against you. The game ends when someone reaches 500 points. Here is the biggest change. In Gin Rummy, you could only take the top discard. In Rummy 500, you can take any card from the discard pile, but there is a price. If the card you want is 3 cards deep, you must take every card above it too. And you must immediately use the card you dug for in a meld. You cannot take it and hold it. Use it now or leave it. That rule creates most of the strategy. The discard pile is public. Every card you throw away adds to the record. Every card you take reveals what you needed and what you were building. When you dig deep, you reveal the target card and add all the cards above it to your hand, giving the table new information. This is opportunity cost in its clearest form. Taking deep can be powerful, but it telegraphs your hand. Sometimes the right play is not to take what you want, because taking it tells your opponents too much. In Gin Rummy, you held everything until the end. In Rummy 500, you lay melds face up as you build them. You can also lay off onto other players' melds. If someone has laid 5, 6, 7 of clubs, and you hold the 8 or the 4, you can add it. That earns points and reduces deadwood. A hand ends when one player melds or lays off every card in their hand, or when the draw pile runs out. When someone goes out, everyone else counts the value of cards still in hand, and those points are subtracted from their score. That creates the central question. When do you go out, and when do you keep building? Going out stops the hand and prevents opponents from scoring more. But if you go out too soon, someone may close the gap later with a big run. Here is what Rummy 500 is really teaching you. Opportunity cost. Every deep discard pile take asks what you gain versus what you reveal. Bridge players make that calculation on every finesse, end play, and suit combination. Multiplayer table reading. Gin Rummy had 1 opponent. Rummy 500 has up to 7. You track who is close to going out, who is laying heavily, and who may be holding high deadwood. Bridge demands the same awareness as Declarer reads both opponents from the auction and every card played. Score management. A running score changes decisions hand by hand. Going out is not always best. Bridge players also adjust to the score, vulnerability, and what they need. Public information management. Melds on the table shape everyone's plan. In Bridge, dummy appears publicly after the opening lead, and both sides adjust. Rummy 500 trains that skill. Opportunity cost, table reading, score management, public information. 4 more tools in the Bridge Player's Toolkit. Episode 5 complete.